Okay, listen to me very carefully. If you have ever worked in the restaurant industry, especially in New York City, you deserve to be compensated. You deserve to have free therapy for life. You deserve to get a hug, a cookie, a medal. You deserve it all because that thing is hard. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, One More Mile. I am Paula and I'm your host. I know I haven't been posted in a month or maybe more than a month. I was busy recovering from running a marathon and life just happened. But I'm back here. I promise to be consistent and put one podcast episode a week. And what of a greatest comeback will it be to come back talking about the traumatizing experience that it is the restaurant industry? What are my qualifications? I used to be a server. I used to be in the industry for about 2-3 years in New York City. And I don't know where you're listening this from. You might be listening from my home country, Ecuador. You might be listening from Arkansas, Oklahoma, Indiana, LA. I don't know. But working in the restaurant industry in New York City, it shapes you on a different way that I cannot explain. And I don't ever want to go back. I don't ever want to go back. Please don't let me go back because it's traumatizing. And trust me, I have done traumatizing stuff like working in retail in the biggest Macy's in the whole world, which is in New York City. So I will choose that Macy's or a restaurant any other day. And that is something. That is saying something. I don't know if you guys have watched The Bear. It's about a chef in Chicago. I watched it barely there because it was giving me too much PTSD and like triggering because I used to work in restaurants, but it's a very good show. And I feel like if you have not worked in a restaurant, I'm not talking fast food. Fast food is hard enough. I used to work in fast food as well, but I'm talking sitting down restaurant, being a server, having a buzzer, having to tip out your tables, having a bartender. If you have never done that as a job that you do, you need to go touch some grass. You need to go thank God, thank your parents that you didn't have to do that because I think that is one of the most hardest things I have ever done in my life. And I think it should be more compensated. So today I'm just going to be rambling about industry secrets, things that happen behind doors that you probably think are not happening, but they are happening, and just a few story times that I can remember because I quit more than a year ago and I forgot all of the interesting things. I wish I had a journal or I made videos about the things that used to happen in the restaurant because they are crazy. But to all of my fellow restaurant industry people, let me tell you, there's a light behind that tunnel. I have not found that light because retail and corporate is just as bad as having a restaurant. I think my next step will be to have a sugar daddy, make my husband go a billionaire, be a stay-home mom, doing something that I really don't have to work because this life is not for me. But the restaurant industry is something. So if you're in the restaurant industry, hang in there. I feel you. I support you. You're gonna get out. You're gonna get out, okay? First of all, guys, when you're sending your compliments to the chef, when you're like, oh my God, this beef, this steak, this chicken, this whatever was amazing, please send the compliments to the chef. The chef, 99% of the time, is a bunch of line cooks, probably Mexican, Ecuadorian, especially in New York, Hispanic people that have never gone to culinary school but probably cook better than your chef. No. When you send us back to give the compliments to the chef, we are not thanking anyone because the chef is barely there. The chef is yelling at the line cooks. The ones that are actually cooking the food are the line cooks. The chef, yeah, he might do some chicken, he thought enough. He went to school to be the chef. That's okay. But we're not giving the compliments to the chef. That thing that you heard, like, oh, they're going to spit on my food. I've seen people done so much worse. Someone spitting on your food is actually the lucky thing that someone could do if you're mean to. You are never going to know what's happening behind doors. You are never going to know what's happening in the back of the house. Please be nice to everyone on the restaurant. Servers, hostess, bartenders, runners, bussers, because you never know who might have access to your plate. I don't know about other cities. I know a majority of the places they will have to do a health inspection, but in New York, when they do this health inspection, they rate the restaurant with letters. Letter A is, of course, excellent. B is concerning. C, please do not ever eat there. And if it says pending, you have to run for your life. I worked in about 4 to 5 restaurants and I have experienced about 3 health inspections. Yes, I have that bad luck. And let me just tell you, this health inspection comes randomly. Yes, they give you a time frame like, hey, we're gonna come around March to like, I don't know, December. But they never tell you like, hey, I'm gonna be on a Tuesday at 9 p.m. knocking on your door. So they can come during lunch, they can come during dinner, they can come in the busiest day ever, they can come when it's slow, they can come 3 people, they can come 5 people, they can come just one person. So it's very randomly. You never know what is gonna happen. The first interaction that I had with the health department was at a restaurant. It's very, 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 very famous in New York City. It's very touristic. I'm not gonna say the name, but it's located in Union Square, and it's a restaurant that has all of the Christmas lightings. And then on Halloween, they have all of the Halloween stuff. So you probably have seen it on TikTok. And we were working over there, and they always told me, because I was the host over there, they always told me that there's a button that says is in the house. Let's say the restaurant name was Camila, okay? The button on the POS system was Camila's on the house. So you know that when I click on that, that means the health inspector is here. And that means everyone has to throw everything out, because just imagine the bartenders have the garnishes, the peeled oranges, the lychee, the olives, all of the garnishes, the leaves and whatever they need. And then the prep in the kitchen, they need to have everything either refrigerated, they need to have everything like all covered. It's too much going on. So the easiest thing is to throw everything. Of course, when they come, I did not press the button because I couldn't find it. And my manager was freaking out. He ran like crazy going downstairs because the kitchen was downstairs. And we were trying to distract the health inspector in the upstairs area, which was the bar. And they put all of the garnishes. Imagine all of the oranges, all of the lychees, all of the fruits, all of the lemons in my backpack. In my backpack. If the health inspector opened that backpack, he would have been like, girl, you're coming with us. Well, they put all of that stuff in my backpack, but they did, and we passed the inspection. Everyone was freaking out like a headless chicken. There was a fire extinguisher that I pressed it by mistake. This is by mistake. They forced me to put all of the garnishes in my bag, and I was freaking out, and my bag was next to the extinguisher, so I just pressed it, and you see a giant cloud of fire extinguisher. I'm like, what is going on? They thought that I did that on purpose to distract them. Maybe that did distract them, but that was not on purpose. I had to clean the whole thing myself. Why would I do that to myself? But long story short, we passed the inspection with an A, and that we celebrated. We had a lot of shots. It was a good day. On my second inspection, something similar happened. Everyone freaked out. We throw everything. The owner of this place, this was a Thai place, the owner of this place hid the key of a closet that was not properly labeled. I think you need to have if you have, I don't know, it's Thai food, so they have certain condiments and certain stuff, so you will need to have it labeled with the thing that you have in there. You cannot just have it like random for people to just grab it. And he closed that closet with the key. So when the inspector was like, oh, who has the key? And he's like, the owner. Mind you, he was the owner. And he's like, oh, the owner, but I don't know. I'm just the manager. I'm like, So he never opened the door. He's like, your guys are going to have to call back. Like, I don't know at what time he's coming. Honestly, I think he went on vacation. He was lying for his life because he knew he was going to get a B. Turns out they were nice enough. I think they didn't care enough, and they gave us an A. But where am I going with all of this? If you live in New York City or if you come traveling, please, for the love of your life, only eat in restaurants that have an A rating, because in the restaurants that I've worked that had an A rating, I've seen rats, I've seen mice, I've seen cockroaches, I've seen people not washing their hands, I've seen people leaving food over there for years with flies and fruit flies and everything bad. I've seen insects. I've seen disgusting stuff that I just want to tell you, if that happens on an A place, I don't know what's going to happen in a B or a C. Please do not eat there. Do not go near that restaurant, okay? Everyone in the restaurant industry is either an alcoholic, has a nicotine addiction, smokes something, or does certain stuff, if you know what I mean. My thing was alcohol. I don't know if you heard some of the older episodes, but I do consider myself an alcoholic. I've been sober for more than 2 years now. It's gonna be three soon. And part of the reason that I was able to go sober was because I quit the restaurant industry. Working in the restaurant industry is impossible to be sober, I will say. You have the after beers with your friends, and then mid shift, everyone is smoking a cigarette. There is no wellness. There is no, I don't think I would even started running seriously if I was staying in the restaurant industry. And if you are, and if you have a healthy lifestyle, well, being a server, kudos to you because this is hard. You need that shot after the shift because it went down, if you know what I mean. If you don't work in this industry, you probably think like, "Oh my god, I went to this fancy restaurant. I bet the manager makes a lot of money because this is a Michelin star restaurant. This is fancy, right?" Yeah. The manager is usually the most exploited person in the restaurant. If they ever offer you a manager position for a restaurant, don't take it. Take the server, take the bartender because managers are salary. They do not collect overtime. They're not going to get tips. And they're going to be working like 60 hours a week for less money than the bartender and the server are making with tips. I feel like once you are in the back of house, once you go to another restaurant to experience life by itself, you understand why a lot of things happen. Like if they seat you at a certain table, it's because the servers have sections. And if you want to sit down at another section, that server might be on the weeds. That server might be super busy and they're not going to give you the best attention that they can, so they have to seat you in another section. Do not request another table. Also, majority, I will say 90% of the time, the server has a lot of power in their hands. If the server gets along with the bartender, we can give you a free drink. If we are able to manage the desserts, we can give you a dessert. We might not be able to give you a discount or comp your meal, but if you're nice to us, if I can, I will give you a free shot. I will give you a free soda. In restaurants that they don't offer free refills, I will give you a free refill. I will give you ice cream. I don't care. I don't care to give more money to the owner that is exploiting me. If you're nice to me and to get more tips, I will give you free stuff. So always be nice to your server. You don't know what they can give to you. And not only because they can give you stuff, which is nice, but because they're human beings and they deserve to be treated with respect. And yeah, you have to treat everyone with respect, but especially the people that are touching your food and the people that are providing you a service, any service. Okay. You want to know why I stopped going to restaurants? Now I only go to restaurants if I have a party, if I have a birthday, but I used to be a big foodie before, and now it's just like I don't want to spend my money there because I see how things are. Everything is overpriced and how the economy is going. I just don't want to invest the money in that. And I'm going to tell you a story. I used to work at a Michelin Guide restaurant. If you don't know what the Michelin Guide is basically the step before becoming a Michelin star restaurant. You don't have your star yet, but you are published on the guide. Everyone dies to try your food. Critics have tried the food, the service, they approve it. It is a really nice, expensive place, but it doesn't have a star yet. So I used to work in this Michelin Guide restaurant, and mind you, this was my first ever server job. I used to work in a fast food restaurant. I decided that I wanted to make tips and I moved to this restaurant. They gave me the opportunity, and I'm not saying this stuff like, oh my God, I'm so grateful they gave me the opportunity. No, you know, please, if they offer you the job on the first interview, if they hire you for something that you know you don't have the qualifications for, the place is going down. Do not take the job. It should be a little bit more hard. Don't you think people will fight for that job? Of course, I took it, and oh boy, it built the character that I have now. This was the type of restaurant that will throw birthday parties, and people will bring bottles of $500 worth of a wine bottle. I had no idea how to open a wine bottle. I communicated this with my manager, I communicated this with the owner. They do nothing. I try to open it. The cork falls on the bottle, inside of the bottle. Now, how do I explain to these people that I dumped the cork inside of the bottle? A bartender that used to work in there at the time with me, he was able to get the cork out with a lighter. I don't know what trick he did. He took it out. I'm forever grateful until this day, because otherwise I would have had to pay those for $500. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you go to a restaurant thinking like, oh my God, this is so special and the service is going to be so elevated, sometimes there's teenagers working in those fancy places. Sometimes there's people that don't have any experience and they're overcharging you for that. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying don't think you're going to, oh my God, eat with Gordon Ramsay, because that's not the case in majority of the New York places. Mind you, in this place also, a lot of people used to call out. We were understaffed. It was one busy Friday night where I was making drinks. I had no experience as a bartender. I can even say I still have no experience as a bartender. And people were asking their, fancy restaurants, people go, can I get an extra dirty martini with a twist, a sparkly touch of lemon peel, and then 3 blue cheese olives, but no vermouth, shaking the stir up and down. Blah, 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 blah. It's like making a whole testament. I'm like, I just put vodka, 1 olive. That's it. That's all you're going to get from me. And that's all you're going to get for $25. So I know I have a lot of good stories, but I forgot all of them right now. The one that I remember was this regulars that I had at a restaurant. This restaurant was located in a business area, a lot of offices, so a lot of people used to go for lunch, a lot of people used to go for happy hour. The weekend was actually kind of dead, and the weekdays was our strong season just because it was offices. And there was this couple that used to go there every single day. They became my regulars. They loved me. They loved me. They were a little annoying. They were alcoholics. Like, they had 5 drinks each. I'm telling you, random Tuesday, 2 p.m. 5 drinks each, sending back food, making jokes that are inappropriate, like about my race. I used to work in this Thai restaurant, so I used to work with a Thai gown. And I don't know, put my hair in a bun, picture me with a Thai outfit, like cultural outfit. People thought that I was Thai. So they looked at me and they're like, Sawadika. And I'm like, hi, Sawadika. Because we were forced to say that. I'm like, hi, Sawadika. Sorry, no, I'm not Thai. They're like, but you look Thai. You look Thai. You don't look Hispanic. You like making assumptions about. I don't think that's wrong. I'm not saying that I get offended. Thai people are beautiful, but it's just I don't go to someone and be like, you look like this, you don't look like that, when I told you that I'm from Ecuador 30 times before. The thing is that they used to love me, they used to love my manager, and we were harassed by these people. The only way I only like them because they used to tip me so good. They used to tip me so good. I'm telling you, $50 on a random $90 bill on a random Tuesday, and they will come every day. They used to tip me so good. I mean, it was a whole tip pool for the whole restaurant, but I'll take it anytime. I'll fight for the team, sacrifice me, whatever. And they used to be so, like, if they sat at another section that wasn't my section, they're like, I want Paula. And even if Paula has to walk the whole restaurant, I want to sit in this table and I want her to serve me. And then I will come like, hey guys, nice to see you again. And they're like, oh my God, thank God you're here. We were so scared. Or if I had a day off, they were like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, guys, I went out for vacation. It was my honeymoon. They're like, oh my God, yeah. But like, we wanted you here. Don't ever leave us again. What? They had no sense of boundaries. They bring cake one day and they're like, oh, we want you to try the cake. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I cannot do that. The owner is watching. I can get fired. So sorry, guys. And then they just went ahead with one piece of cake and they shove it into my manager's mouth. The manager that they like. They're like, they say his name. They're like, eat it. So the day that I found out that these people were cheating on their partners was a random day. They were sharing, I don't know, lobster pad thai, lychee martinis. They were kissing each other, And I don't know how we got to the topic of going on a plane, traveling places, whatever. And then we got to the topic of her telling me that she went out on vacation and she went to Ireland. And I'm like, oh, wow. How come Ireland? And I'm like, oh, did you go with her? I asked the guy because I thought they were a couple, right? And then she just laughs. And then he just laughs. And I'm like, did you go with her? She didn't take you, right? I'm joking around, right? They laugh even harder. What's going on? She opens up her phone, looks for a picture, shows me a picture of, I'm telling you again, these two people were Indians. She shows me a picture of her and a white guy, the whitest man ever. And she's like, oh, this is my husband. What? I look at him. I look at her. I look at him. I look at her. And then she's like, yeah, he's Irish. In that moment, I just wanted to run. I just wanted to cry. I'm like, this is disgusting because you two are cheating on other people clearly. This is disgusting. Like, I don't want to serve you anymore. Of course, I didn't say that. I'm like, husbands. Is the check going to be cash or card? That was very uncomfortable, but hey, the more that you know. The cheaters that used to tip me so good on a restaurant, right? I could do a whole episode spilling the tea on all of the foodie influencers in New York City because a lot of restaurants where I used to work out did this whole collaborations with the influencer, and I have done it myself. I've gone to restaurants where they basically give you the meal for free. You just have to pay for the tip in order to get some content out of you. So you film, you edit it, you post it on your socials. Sometimes they take the video and they post it on their socials, but you get a free meal and you have to pay for the tip because they don't cover the tip. That's the rule. You will be surprised how many foodie influencers, oh my God, have not tipped on their free meal. It's insane. I can make a list out of them. I remember their faces because I used to be your server. And what do you mean you get a free meal? You're an influencer, you're a content creator, and you're not going to tip on your meal. That is disgusting. That is awful, and you should be ashamed. But yeah, some restaurant etiquette and some advice that I'm gonna give you. Guys, don't ever go to a restaurant. If the restaurant is closing at 9 a.m., don't ever go at 8:30 and be like, hey, can we get a table? If it's a takeout, maybe. If it's an ice cream place where you can just grab your ice cream and go, yes. If it's a sitting down restaurant where you know they serve cocktails, appetizers, everything, don't do that. Don't ever do that, okay? Be empathic. I know you have the money. I know you have the time. I know you have the holidays off. I know it will be amazing to spend Thanksgiving Day or Christmas Day or Christmas Eve on a restaurant being served because no one wants to cook and no one wants to try your aunt's dry chicken or turkey that she made for Thanksgiving, right? But these people have families too. And the only reason that they're working on the shifts is because the owners of these places think that they're gonna get a lot of business. So if we prove them wrong, maybe, just maybe, restaurant people can actually start having some holidays off because they deserve it too. Everyone deserves to be with their family on Thanksgiving, on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day, on New Year's Day, resting, not serving other people that just got lazy on how to cook or just get takeout and go home. Okay? Yeah, every time I remember the restaurant industry, 86 mental health. If you ever heard someone says 86, you know that they work in the restaurant industry. 86 means when they're doing a pre-shift, they're telling you like, hey, today's specials. Hey, today we don't have this wine. Instead of the manager telling you like, hey, today we don't have the Cabernet from Chile, they're going to tell you, hey, 86 Cabernet from Chile. So 86 means out, just like this episode, 86. Thank you so much for listening to this comeback. I know I went rambling a little bit, but it was just me trying to gather my thoughts and remember traumatic times. If you guys have worked in a restaurant, let me know. I'm here with you. Let's be empathic. Let's be kind to other people, especially to people working in this holiday season that is upon us on restaurants. It is a stressful time. It is very stressful. It's very good money though. It's the best money that I've ever did. And I have a very good corporate job right now and I still make more money being a server, but it's very hard. So let's just all be empathic. Tip your server. We're in America. If you don't want to tip, go to Europe, but we're in America, so you have to tip. And I will see you on the next episode. All my social media is going to be linked somewhere. Love you guys.